Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Prime Minister alongside the Panamanian President opens the Caribbean Investment Forum. The Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development calls on all persons to make a difference in society. And in sport, for the third time this season, the Defence Force and Caledonia AIA will meet to decide a title. Thank you for joining us. To our top story. Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessor says this country is at the perfect investor location and is ready and open to business. She was speaking at the opening of the second Caribbean Investment Forum at the Hilton Trinidad and Conference Center, which is anticipated to attract hundreds of business persons from the region, North America, Latin America, and even Asia. Verna Barth has the story.
As this country moves towards forging greater economic investment opportunities, its employment sector is also expected to be tremendously impacted. This from Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessor, who was addressing the second Caribbean Investment Forum at the Hilton Trinidad and Conference Center, where she welcomed Panama's President, His Excellency Ricardo Martinelli Berrocal, who is boasting of the great impact Panama will have on other countries with the expansion of the Panama Canal. The Honorable Prime Minister adds that Trinidad and Tobago is perfectly positioned to facilitate business and is affirming that TNT is open and ready for business and is welcoming investors.
The nations of the Americas must connect now in unprecedented ways, perhaps more than ever, in our aim for development and prosperity. Our Caribbean Investment Forum is focused on opening up the Caribbean to the world, accessing the world through the Caribbean, and candidly discussing targeted sectors with the potential to drive profitability and to maximize sustainability. With particular reference to Trinidad and Tobago, as you know, in matters of trade and the ultimate prosperity of our nation, we have embarked on a very robust strategy of diversification. My government remains committed and determined to move away from our dependence on the energy sector. We must actively continue to prepare ourselves for a future without or with reduced energy reserves. His Excellency the President pointed out to me that he has almost full employment in Panama and that he will be looking to open his borders for persons to come to work in Panama, so we may have more Trinidadians working on your widening of your canal and in other areas. So there are job opportunities, there are business opportunities, and we welcome your suggestion for a trade delegation. We'll work with our business sector here for a trade delegation to visit Panama, and indeed we will welcome Panama's trade delegation.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessor is also announcing new business prospects in its collaboration with Panama. This comes on the heels of recently announced plans to expand the Panama Canal.
His Excellency and his government have requested partnering with Trinidad and Tobago in the energy sector, and we meet later today to have further discussions with respect to the sale to Panama, which will bring us direct revenue. Copa Airlines, which has about 72 aircraft, I believe, to be expanded, as His Excellency spoke. They are very interested in purchasing aviation fuel from Trinidad and Tobago. In addition, the bunkering facilities that His Excellency spoke of, that they will facilitate the permits for us to get our products on the canal and therefore be able to benefit from the bunkering there. Again, this is immediate and direct revenue we're speaking about. I know His Excellency is very interested in the purchase of LPG from Trinidad and Tobago, and we will be meeting with Phoenix Park gas processors later today. So almost immediately we have energy products being requested by the government and people of Panama to be purchased from Trinidad and Tobago.
Also addressing the forum was President of the Republic of Panama, His Excellency Ricardo Martinelli Berrocal, who is announcing plans to have direct flights to Panama via Caribbean Airlines.
Panama, as you know, is a great hub for mobility. Today we spoke with the Prime Minister, and we immediately called the airline authority in Panama, whereby we would like to grant the fifth liberty to to Caribbean Airlines so they can also fly directly to Panama.
His Excellency is also revealing that the Caribbean Investment Forum will be greatly beneficial to both Panama and Trinidad and Tobago. He was speaking just minutes after arriving at the Piarco International Airport to attend the Caribbean Investment Forum.
I'm very happy to be here at Trinidad and Tobago. It's a wonderful country. We have an excellent relationship. And I believe that with this Trinitarian Investment Forum that I will attend tomorrow, the opportunities of investment mutually in Panama and in Trinidad will be greatly expanded, and we are very happy and we welcome all Trinitarian investments in Panama, especially in the areas of oil and oil storage and many other facilities. As you know, we buy our butane gas and bitumen from Trinidad, and I believe that with this visit, not only our commerce will be expanded, but also our friendship.
Veena Bharath, News 4.
Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar says steps are being taken to increase the number of medical staff in the nation. She announced that several Cuban nationals will take posts at the nation's health institutions as part of government's short-term solution in servicing the sector. The Prime Minister also noted that the plan has been approved by Cabinet.
Over 100 Cuban medical personnel are expected to join the local health sector in an attempt to fill the shortage of nurses and doctors in Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar made the announcement as she opened new boarding facilities at the San Fernando General Hospital. She noted the approval by Cabinet was a short-term solution to fill the severe shortage of medical personnel at the nation's hospitals.
For the short term, I am very pleased to announce that Cabinet recently approved the hiring of 70 Cuban health professionals, 56 nurses, and 14 doctors on 2-year contracts. These professionals will arrive, I'm advised, in Trinidad and Tobago later this month and will assist in our plans to strengthen the human resource capacity at our health institutions.
The Prime Minister underscored the need for ramped-up training of medical staff locally, as there is a great shortage of nursing staff in Trinidad and Tobago.
At this time, there are about 2,900 vacancies with respect to nurses. What this means is that the nurses who are functioning are doing so at tremendous sacrifice, because it means that they're carrying a system in which 2,900 persons are missing. And therefore what we need to do is aggressive training. We do aggressive training in other sectors. Let me speak about training for nurses at this point in time. Recognizing several things. That we have planned to build, you have heard me say and I repeat, my legacy will not be in tall mega buildings, mega projects. I would like the legacy of my administration to be in hospitals and in schools. And so with that in mind, I promised that we will build 5 new hospitals over the period.
She also took the opportunity to outline plans whereby government would provide more scholarships and incentives for students entering the field.
There's a public administration which offers the scholarships. Let us offer the scholarships and incentives in those areas where we need the personnel. One area that is very clear is in healthcare. And therefore the proposal that all these ministers are working on now is for us to target healthcare training in a very aggressive manner so that we can improve the quality of our healthcare here in Trinidad and Tobago. And that is a challenge that we have.
It is expected that through the undertaking of major projects, the quality of medical care will be improved for all citizens.
News 4 continues after the break. Stay with us.
It's like no other place on earth. Paria Springs and rainforests that sing, and the blue seas and skies. But what makes Trinidad and Tobago really special is our people. Our fathers and mothers, sisters and brothers, we're aunts and uncles, neighbors and cousins, and we are officers of a new police service as well. A new service of the 21st century, the police service of tomorrow.
It's different from the old model, and what it is really is a deployment model. So it's how we deploy our resources, how we utilize our resources for their maximum effectiveness.
With new tools, new technology, new leadership, and a new sense of dedication and service to all our people. In the coming weeks, we'll air a series of half-hour specials to show you how we have been re-equipped with new computers, new communication systems, and new rapid response teams so we can respond with speed and precision.
Welcome back. Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development, Senator the Honorable Verna St. Rose Graves, is calling on all persons to make a difference in society by giving of their time to help others in any way possible. She was speaking at the launch of the National Youth Volunteerism Program, where she outlined the tremendous benefits of such volunteerism programs to the future of a nation. Verna Barth has more.
Youth volunteerism in any society can make a huge difference. This from Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development, Senator Verna St. Rose Graves, who was speaking at the launch of the National Youth Volunteerism Program. Minister St. Rose Graves is calling on all citizens to help others and make a difference in their communities.
Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, in his message for the International Volunteer Day last year, stated, "We must tap every person's potential to help others. Everyone can make a difference. Volunteerism matters." The Ministry of Gender, Youth and Child Development has identified this program of youth volunteerism as a key strategy for supporting the realization of Pillar 1, people-centered development. We need everyone and all can contribute, and Pillar 6 of the government's stated mandate, good governance, people participation.
The Gender, Youth and Child Development Minister reveals that this country is blessed with rich volunteerism. She adds that this is a great approach in promoting participation by young persons. According to the minister, young persons should have a part to play in the decision-making process in society, and youth volunteerism creates that avenue.
The government has recognized that youth is an important partner in the implementation of social development programs. Youth matters, and they matter in everything, everywhere, every time, and all the time. The Commonwealth Secretariat, in their Plan of Action for Youth Empowerment, has identified volunteerism as a key strategy to promote the participation of young people in decision-making. Our ministry has recognized the need to harness our people's tradition of volunteerism by institutionalizing this value. Yes, and we do have a rich tradition of volunteerism.
The minister is also explaining how great the benefits can be for the volunteer. She adds that the lessons on discipline, patience, and responsibility are lifelong traits that form part of one's own self-development.
The ministry foresees that such an initiative would contribute to the development of citizen Trinidad and Tobago, as the Permanent Secretary said before me. Someone who's caring, selfless, considerate, and patriotic. And I always challenge us, let us ask the question, what kind of nation do we want to build? And based on that answer, what kind of citizen do we need to raise? And based on that answer, then therefore, what are the things that we need to do to get that kind of citizen? Volunteerism will help us in one of those things.
Everyone can find a way to give of themselves to others. Minister St. Rose Graves is therefore urging individuals to be open and willing to assist those around whenever a need is identified. She says this assistance should not only be offered to the obvious persons in society who are in need, since at some point in time, any person can require assistance in one way or another.
I also want to stress that volunteerism must go beyond helping only those we see as less fortunate than us or who are needy. It's just about helping, because sometimes the people we do not see as needy, they too need help.
The minister is also highlighting the tremendous benefits that the National Youth Volunteerism Program will have on society and the future of this nation as well.
The future of our nation, the beneficiaries of our society, and the main architects of tomorrow are our young people. The experiences we afford them today will form part of their tools to building a stronger nation and a brighter tomorrow. This volunteerism program aims to foster a sense of personal pride, pride for community, and a sense of obligation to contribute to the development of our country. This program aims to develop and nurture a sense of caring, giving, through involvement in meaningful volunteer projects which contribute to self, community, and national development. And I stress that because it's important for us to remember that. We aim to attract young people from all walks of life.
Veena Bharath, News 4.
Sport is up next, right after the break.
Informing and educating the nation, especially the young ones, about water, how it's won and processed, and how it should be protected are just a few of our major responsibilities here at the Public Education Center. The enjoyable learning environment, cultivating conservation habits, developing healthy relationships, and giving our public an appreciation of the environment in which we produce water. WASA's PEC, the region's only public education center on water.
Adults aren't the only ones who beat up on kids. Sometimes kids beat up on kids.
Every child has the right to be protected from violence, abuse, and neglect.
Because I shouldn't be afraid to go to school or play with my friends.
Because no child should be hurt by adults or by other children.
Because safety is my right. Stop the bullying.
Well, for the third time this season, the Defence Force and Caledonia AIA will meet to decide a title. The two teams booked their places in the last Cup final of the season after an entertaining night of semi-final action. Wayne Cunningham was there and has the highlights.
The men of W Connection FC were playing their fifth game in 8 days when they met Caledonia AIA in the semi-final of the Pro Bowl at the Manny Ramjohn Stadium. The night before, the Savanetta boys fielded what many considered a reserve team when they played Antigua Barracudas in the Caribbean Football Union Club Championship and were beaten 2-1. That defeat did not affect their progression in the regional tournament, and they were at full strength to battle for a place in the lucrative Pro Bowl final. Caledonia were well aware of W's schedule and decided to run at them early. Connection weathered that early storm and did some attacking of their own. Shadow Winchester should have done much better after some good midfield work. The normally lethal Winchester was still off the mark in the second half. The national under-23 striker was not the only player shooting poorly. Caledonia's Sheldon Holder also skying one. The goalkeepers would then take the spotlight, as it would be kicked from the penalty mark to decide this semi-final. Caledonia stuck with their tradition and sent star wingback Kareem Tiny Joseph first to the spot, and he did not disappoint. Connection sent in their informed midfielder Rene Brito to open their account, but his effort was saved by Jamaican Kevin Graham. That save would be the decider, as Cali remained perfect from the spot to book a place in the final. In semi-final number 2, the Defence Force took on TN-Tech. The Electricity boys were hoping for another chance at some silverware after coming out on the wrong end of 2 finals, plus missing out on the league title on the final match day. But it was the Army with the first try at goal, Richard Roy turning and hitting well, but Marvin Phillip had it covered. Roy would be furious with his strike partner Josimar Belgrave after he missed this easy chance. Tientech were moving the ball nicely, but Marcus Joseph failing to trouble Kevin Graham on this occasion. The Army keeper had a little more difficulty with this attempt, but managed to keep the score at 0-0 going into the halftime break. The second half progressed with a series of near misses, and a second penalty shootout seemed on the cards. That changed in the 79th minute when Curtis Gonzalez's speculative effort beats Philip to make it 1-0 defense force. All toss of the shootout were firmly dashed in the 83rd minute when substitute Kerry Joseph made it 2-0 for the military man with his first touch of the ball, sparking a unique celebration. As the defense force hopes it will be 3 times lucky when they face Caledonia AIA again in a cup final. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
When we come back, the steel drums and the drums of India. Stay with us.
Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, now recruiting candidates for its upcoming cycle. Join our training program, military-led, national in scope.
Environment conserving, disaster response training, flora and fauna preserving, and life skill training. If you want to do better, change your life over. Civilian Conservation Corps has opened doors. You like plumbing? You like welding?
Call us now at 625-4CCC. That's 625-4222. Or contact us at the CCC office in your region. For further information, check us out on Facebook. Search for Civilian Conservation Corps. The Civilian Conservation Corps, getting youth ready for life.
Carjacking has become very prevalent in recent times. Certain makes of vehicles are more preferred targets for criminals. When approaching intersections or junctions, ensure that all doors are locked and windows are wound up if possible. Remember, crime prevention is everyone's business. A message from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Welcome back. Drums of India and this country's national instrument came together this weekend to produce a musical treat to patrons attending Steelfest TT concerts. The collaboration was met with much joy from Indian High Commissioner to Trinidad and Tobago, Srimali Mishra, who noted the importance such musical fusions held for relations globally.
It's the fusion of East meets West, sounds from Drums of India, in synchronization with Sweet Steel Pan of Trinidad and Tobago, featured this year at Steelfest TT. During performances at the Naparima Bowl, visiting Indian band Drums of India, led by Paravali Jaya Bhaskar, joined with National Steel Orchestra of Trinidad and Tobago, treating patrons to a range of compositions. In his address to music lovers gathered, the Indian High Commissioner to Trinidad and Tobago described the unison as unique and an addition to the relations this country shared with his homeland of India.
For us, it is a proud moment, and let me leave you with just one word, that today we are hearing Pan, which is playing so much to some beats which comes directly from the heartland of India. And there has been attempts in the past to introduce Pan to various parts of India, and that has not only a cultural content but a great financial benefit as well, a great commercial future as well. And let us strive to bring the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago to merge in our symphony of instruments in India and take it to the length and breadth of India, because this could be, well, the beginning of such an endeavor.
While the Commissioner has been in Trinidad and Tobago since 2009, His Excellency noted that it was the sweet, unique sound of steel pan that left an indelible mark on his mind, something he called on Trinbagonians to hold dear to their hearts.
Steel pan is perhaps the best product of Trinidad and Tobago, the most unique product of Trinidad and Tobago. I think something which every Trinidad and Tobago citizen must be proud of, because it represents the innovation, the enterprise, the creativity, all in one little drum. And that has come from the bowels of this earth, that has been invented right here. So therefore it merits a much bigger importance than all the gas, all the oil, even all the carnivals.
Chairperson of the Steelfest TT Planning Committee, Maureen Manchuk, added that it was this blend of music that serves as further grounds for promotion of the local musical instrument on a global scale.
When you want to hear sweet pan, this is where you come, and that is the whole idea behind Steelfest, to create a space for the steel pan, to create a space for steel pan uniting the sounds of the world. This year we had India, China, Cuba and Brazil. Next year perhaps we will have some other countries. We're hoping to do this at least biannually, but in between we are going to have some kind of activity to keep Steelfest going.
This year, Steelfest TT joins in collaboration with the Ministry of Arts and Multiculturalism in commemoration of this year's 50th Independence Anniversary.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of the News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.